Let's try succinctly.
Oh boy.
Succinctly. Dan, succinctly.
Do you need help?
Yes. 1.
Succinctly succinct for 1 is what he'd like to do.
Succinctly succinct for 1.
Here we go.
Oh, hey, welcome back. It's season 2 of I Bought You Didn't Know, where our contestants prove they know what they think they know, and if they don't know, Parks?
They don't go home.
That's right. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Mike Barmundi. I'm a product marketing manager for AI, network, and security at Nutanix. And today's topic is cloud-native technologies. In fact, are cloud-native technologies just for the public cloud? We're going to find out. And with us are 2 amazing guests. Dan Cirrus-ly, Director of Product Management. Dan?
It is so wonderful to finally be here.
Oh, so glad to have him. Hey, Parks.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, I did find out that your title is Product Marketing Manager for AHV.
Thank you, Mike.
You're
I've
welcome.
been waiting episodes for you to announce that.
Yep, 3 at this point. So today's categories are legit or not, succinctly succinct, acronym speedfire, wildcard, and certainly, which we never pick. Well, hey, let's get started. And to get started, we jumped out of a plane. Dan, you landed first. Bill, you landed in a tree. So Dan, you got the board. You get to choose where we go.
I'm going to start with succinctly succinct for
Wow.
2.
All right, succinctly succinct for 2. Succinctly describe how easily a distributed computing system can be implemented. Dan, why don't you take this one?
Well, there's a whole range of open source projects centering around one project called Kubernetes that are all designed to make it easy to take an application, throw it in a thing called a container, and run it across any number of servers.
Wow, that's really cool. Bill, do you have anything you want to add for
He
that?
leaves nothing. That was such a brilliant answer. Good for you.
I thought
Good for you, Dan.
Thank you so much, Bill.
That's guest.
amazing. Well, with that, I'm going to award you the 2 points. Bill, you have a goose egg. You know what? Let's give you an opportunity. I think you're feeling great. Why don't you have the board? You can go next.
Wild card for 2.
Wildcard for 2. The clue is a new product from Nutanix for cloud-native systems. Nutanix Kubernetes blank. Oh, Bill, you look eager for this. Yeah, go ahead.
Engine?
Uh,
Dan?
You're so close. That's the old product. The new one is Nutanix Kubernetes Platform.
Nutanix Kubernetes platform. That's awesome. You want to describe a little bit more about that?
I'd love to, Mike. So my company, D2IQ, was acquired by Nutanix last year. We had a product that let our customers manage Kubernetes clusters across on-premises, in public clouds, and at the edge, so they could deploy distributed applications. And now we've integrated that into Nutanix cloud infrastructure, so Nutanix customers can run their Kubernetes clusters and those cloud-native applications wherever they want to.
Dan, I'm going to award you the 2 points. You're up for goose egg. Goose egg, aka Mr. Parks. You have the board. Why don't you go decide where we go next?
Here we go. Let's try succinctly.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Succinctly. Dan, succinctly.
Do you need help?
Yes. 1.
Succinctly succinct for 1 is what he'd like to do.
Succinctly succinct for 1. Succinctly describe why cloud-native technologies are only for cloud environments. You guys are both giving me weird stares. Is there something wrong with that question? Dan, what?
I reject the premise.
Oh,
I reject the premise too.
We
two
both
rejects?
rejected it. Yeah. In fact, you can run cloud-native technologies anywhere, including certainly your own data center. So cloud-native technologies are not just for the public cloud.
wow, that's amazing. That's a great answer. Bill, do you have something succinctly to add to that?
Scalability, resilience, automation, all those things be incorporated everywhere.
That's a good point. I'll say that's a good point. You get all that when you're using cloud-native technology.
Are you cheating?
No. How dare you?
Okay. Okay. I'll take it. That was great, right? Like it was really good.
Move
All right.
along, Barmundi.
We'll get. Hey, do you want to give him that point?
Sure, let's
You're
give him
up
the point.
4-0. Let's give him 1. Okay, 4-1. I like that. Great. I mean, because of that gracious attitude, Dan, you have the board. Where are we going next?
I gotta try a legit or nah. Let's go for 3.
Legit or not for 3, the big 3. Here we go. Strong data security requires complex data management. Legit or nah? Dan, why don't you try this one?
Nah. In fact, I would say if you really want strong data security, you want easy data management. You need powerful data management. But if things are complex, some people are going to mess them up, and you're going to end up having security problems.
Simple is better, right?
Simple is better. He's right again.
Great answers. I think Dan will give you 3, and Bill, you get none. So 7-1 it is.
I thought we were allies, Dan.
All right, Bill. You know what? To make it up for you, I'm going to choose the category, but I will let you answer first. We'll go certainly for 1.
We've never done that one before. Here's a clue. This Day 2 website uses the following SSL public key. And there is a myriad of numbers you can now see.
I got it.
You got it?
https:// Mike Barmondi's a terrible host.net.
No, that's, do you own that domain?
I do now.
I'm being told that's not correct. Dan say no thank you. Dan, go ahead, you can take a stab.
I'm going to take a stab that it's d2iq.com.
Yes, that's exactly right. Wow, it's amazing, you're like a human computer. Congratulations, you get that point.
Let's do Barmondi. Let's do for 2.
What for 2?
Oh, sorry. Legit or not?
All right, Bill, legit or not for 2. And I'm going to give you an opportunity because you're down 8-1 to answer first. Legit or not, the management of data is a critical factor for distributed computing systems. Legit or not?
You got this.
Legit.
Why?
Not. Legit. Yeah, legit. I think you did.
You got it.
I thank you, buddy.
What, that's all you have to say is legit? I don't think so.
Well, that's what the game is.
Dan, do you want to help him out there and maybe we can give him some of these points?
Well, sure. I'd say that distributing an application to run is actually the easy part about distributing computing.
Someone said that.
Who said that?
Jim
Gray is what you want to say. That's right. Jim Gray talked about it. Move the compute to the data. Actually, distributing data is difficult, especially if you need HD, especially if it's extremely large data sets. How you do that is pretty complicated. And so being able to manage your storage underneath your distributed application is the tough part.
I don't think he took anything away from that one. Look at him.
I'm not sure why you're helping him so much, but it's absolutely, that's a fantastic answer.
I know when he chipped in, you split the points, so maybe.
Those hands look like an album cover right there between you and him. We'll split the points, that's fine. Yep, 9-2 it is. I love it. I think we have time for one more question before the final bot. Dan, you got the board. Where are we going?
Let's play some acronym speed fire.
Ooh, one of the best ones. Acronym speed fire. Here we go. And this is how it quickly works. I'm going to give you each a chance to answer what the acronym means, and at the very end, we'll give you a chance to sum it up. Best answer wins the points. Got it?
Got it.
All right, Bill, we're going to start with you. CNCF.
Cluster Nation Container Foundation.
Dan,
Cloud Native Computing Foundation.
That's correct.
That was close.
Bill, CRI.
Container Resource Index.
Container Runtime Interface.
He's getting close. I mean, this is great. Bill, last one, HDFS.
Hadoop File System. Distributed File System. Hadoop Distributed File System.
Distributed File System.
Yeah.
Based on?
Well, GFS, Google File System.
We knew that.
We knew that. Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Are you sure you're doing fantastic.
I got a good ally in this one.
I really like this dynamic. You're really helping him. So CNCF, CRI, HDFS. Dan, how do these kind of tie together in your mind?
CRI and HDFS are technical things, right? They're projects that help people with different technical things. CNCF I want to talk about for a minute because it's a foundation that was established to ensure that we could have this kind of innovation in the open source community that wasn't controlled by any one company and the whole industry could contribute to. And it's really led to an explosion of technologies with literally tens of thousands of developers from different companies working together on this set of technologies that really has defined the latest generation of compute technology.
Really cool. It sounds like you have a very close relationship to CNCF. Have you contributed in any way, or have you been part of those?
Yeah, I was on the steering committee for a project called Istio, which is one of the larger projects in the CNCF. And a lot of these components communicate by APIs. I was one of the founding members of the Open API Initiative, which defines the spec that we use to describe API.
Now, those are really cool credentials. That's awesome. You joined all those different projects. Parks, you have any credentials you want to add to that?
I do.
Oh,
I edited a markdown file.
really?
How important is that?
Oh yeah, documentation is some of the most important stuff.
Okay.
Boom, Marmundi.
That's good job. I mean, seriously, that's awesome. Way to contribute.
You gotta take me more seriously in this game.
I am. I need to. So great job. I mean, I think for that, we can split the points maybe, or do you want to? It's up to Dan, because I mean, he gets 3 of them.
Yeah, let's split them.
Okay, we'll split them
Yeah,
up.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Give him
All
one.
right. With that, it's time for the final bot. All right, you two, this is how it works. I think Bill knows, but for you, Dan, I'll explain it to you. Essentially, you're gonna get one question for all the points. Whoever gets it right wins, gets those points, and gets to go home. Other person, Bill, gets to what? Yep, stay here. Yeah, fun.
Good luck.
Good luck.
May the best contestant win.
Camaraderie.
I will.
All right, the question is, does cloud native computing mean running applications in the cloud? Bill, why don't you take a stab?
Absolutely. No?
Oh.
I was pretty confident on the answer.
Yeah, you were. I like the confidence.
You were pretty close,
Really?
but wrong.
Oh, tell us why.
Because cloud computing means running applications in the cloud. Cloud native computing is a new way of running applications that you can take advantage of in the cloud or on premises or at the edge.
Okay, can you elaborate a little bit more? That's super interesting.
Sure, cloud native computing takes the concepts that were developed at Google and at Twitter and at Facebook in the early days, and how they managed to have a small number of engineers able to deploy applications really, really resiliently and at high scale and securely. And they've open sourced a lot of that technology. We call that cloud native computing. And certainly you can run cloud native computing technologies like Kubernetes and like the Nutanix Kubernetes platform in the public cloud, on premises, and even in retail locations like stores.
That's amazing. You know what? I loved how concise your answer was, and then you expanded upon it. I'm going to give you even more points for that. In fact, I'm going to give you 2,000 points for both those answers.
What?
What's wrong with that?
It's a bit excessive, don't you think?
Versus what?
The 3 I have?
Do you want me to give you 3 more?
Please.
I could give you 1,500 more,
Please.
and you still would lose. With that, Dan, congratulations, you won. Yay!
Dude. You
Good
did it.
job.
Pleasure.
Was
You
it?
It was, absolutely. Dan, you get to go home. Bill, you get to stay here. And that's it for this episode of I Bot You Didn't Know on Cloud Native Technologies. Again, we like to thank our guests. We like to thank all of you out there. And we need feedback. So please feel free to subscribe and like to our channel, or put in the comments down below information you may have, if it was funny, if it wasn't. And that's the way we roll. How you do, fellow kids? Once again, I'm Mike Barmundi, and that's I Bot You Didn't Know. We'll see you next time.